Without a doubt, this has become one of my favorite ways to create art.
Illustrations by Pete.
I love doing this. I like putting in a nice wash with color in the background and then putting something over the top and then putting some detail in that. I just really enjoy that. You'll see how it goes. I'm going to explain the whole thing. What you're going to hear me say all the time is, this is fun. That's basically all the knowledge I have in my head when I'm doing something. Oh yeah, this is fun. That's it. I have no advice to give you that's useful or helpful. So, you came to the wrong place if that's what you're looking for. Also, we're going to have a conversation because everybody gets so crazy with everything. I don't want this to happen with art. This should stay far away from this. We become cult-like in everything we do, and I'll give you another example. I'm going to talk about it in the video, but just think about where you live. Just think about if you like to live in the country, or in the suburbs, or in the city. Just think about that. And people are just all about that. People who live out in the country, they're like, oh yeah, you like living out in the country? I love living out in the country. It's awesome. It's great out here. People are real. We get our hands in the earth. And okay, then people in the city are, oh, I could never live in the country. There's uneducated. We have better education in the city. It's nicer. It's cleaner. It's not cleaner. It's nicer. And we can go out at 3 in the morning and get coffee, because that's something everyone needs to do, apparently. And then you have people live in the suburbs. And like, I can't live that far away from like the stores that I need and friends and other people. And then at the same time, I don't want to live on top of the person, and I don't need coffee at 3 a.m. So I'm okay with sleeping at that time. But wherever people like to be, they can't understand other people where they like to be, and they talk down to them because of it. They put them down. I don't understand this. Why can't we just like what we like? And just, if someone else likes something different, that's fine. Who cares? But no, we have to get all, oh, you idiot. I can't believe you moron. That's how we are. That's what we've developed into. That's good job. So we'll talk about that. So I don't know what exactly draws me to this type of art, but for whatever reason, I absolutely love the contrast and just putting in different I like doing the background. Everything about this I like and I enjoy. I'm going to try and do a couple more of these because they're just so enjoyable. They're so freeing. You just put in the dark shapes where you want them and then add the light to it. But the background itself is just kind of laid in there and it fades away. In certain spots is darker. I don't know if it's like a scenery landscape on a different planet or what it is, but I absolutely love this. So I'm going to do a few more of these. They're really easy to do because all you're really doing is putting shapes of dark color. And you saw in the beginning there, I don't know, that green was in the Indian red and clump of it just came off, and I made do with it. And eventually you don't even really see it much at all anymore, even though it's so dark. But that's okay. It's just, I really love doing these. They're fun. They're enjoyable. You can make the background whatever you want. Any colors you want. I don't know why I like to go with the warmer colors in the background and then put the cooler colors on top, because that's just a Payne's blue gray that's going over the top. And then I add some of the white gouache. It's the M-gram white gouache over it, and you just see that little bit of light blue hint in the white. It's beautiful. So I just like to do that. But I'm going to do a couple of these with some cooler colors. I did add in this one, I added some of that, the Perylene Violet in there, in the background. And that was a beautiful color. I love that color. And so I'm going to try maybe doing these with maybe a darker, instead of the Payne's Blue Gray, maybe I'll use the Perylene Violet so concentrated that it almost looks black. And then add some white gouache to it and see if that brings out some of the violet. That's not a word. Some of the violet highlights. That's what I was trying to say. It's called a violet now. That's a violet highlight. So anyway, let's just have some fun with this and see where this takes us. Alright, so our world is nuts. You know that. But everything is like a cult now. I want you to imagine for a moment if art was like every other activity or expression in life, And I understand that some ideas are polar opposites. Either you want A or you want B for many things, and there isn't really a middle ground. It's one way or it's the other way. I get that. And the people who think that it doesn't matter on those issues and that it's just all the same, they piss everybody off. Everybody hates them. But some things in life do not need to be that. There needs to be something in life. We can just choose to be happy for anyone, no matter what they're doing, if they do it well, or it doesn't matter. Almost whatever they're doing. There's always an exception because people like to go to the extremes. But I think that one thing can be art. Can you imagine how it would be if your art style was treated like a political stance? Like, people can be downright mean. Like, there's Randall, and he used to paint birds in acrylic just like us, and now he paints fruit with pastels. What a loser. He was never really an acrylic bird painter like us. Go pop his tires so he's late for work and gets fired. No one should employ a pastel fruity boy. And there's Miranda. She used to sharpen her pencils with a razor blade and get these 6-inch pencil tips just like a real artist. And then she said she kept cutting her finger and now she uses a mechanical pencil sharpener. Go chop down that tree so it falls on our house, and then she'll understand our struggle. I hope she falls down a sewer grate and mixes with the radioactive sewer people and has the iridescent children or something. I don't understand how people can be so mean towards other people just for disagreeing with them. So you can choose not to talk to a person and not have them in your life if it bothers you that much. But to wish harm on another person because they see things differently than you, it's pathetic. It makes you a pathetic human being. And I know you're thinking, yeah, but artists are so calm and accepting and tolerant of other artists because they have a deeper appreciation of life and they just feel more and their feelings are more. Believe me, I wish that was the case. I've met artists that assume things about me, and because I'm an artist and because of the way that I typically am, I treat everyone with respect and patience, and I know that that's what I need from other people, so that's how I treat them, and especially the patience part. I need patience from people. But then it's always right at the start of a conversation, someone will say something like, "Can you believe that this person said this?" And because I'm not paying attention, or maybe I think that in my mind, I've already formed a respectable bond with this person, so I should be able to speak freely. So I casually say, "Oh, well, yeah, I kind of think that too." Now the person loses it. They're, "What? How could you think that? I would have never thought that you would think something like that." As if it just turned me into the worst person they've ever met. And the relationship is just ruined. And I mean, I get certain things. Like, I get if you told someone that you desired to perform some illegal activities that would have them associating with a future felon. But, just because you disagree with someone on a topic, I just don't get it. What the hell is wrong with people? They just kind of... I also know they do me a favor because then I don't have to associate with a lunatic, but still, show a little grace to people. What was I talking about? I don't think this was the road I was headed down. No boy. I made a wrong turn somewhere. That's okay. So pretend none of this happened yet. So if you ever hear artists put down other artists because the style of the art they create or the method of creating the art is not the way that they would do it, just maybe speak up and just, instead of going along with it, just say, "Hey, maybe just relax a little bit. Just give them the benefit of the doubt. It's just art. It's a self-expression anyway. Let them do what they're doing." That I know I've said this many times, and all you probably tired of me of repeating myself so often, but my mind is limited, and so these few subjects are always bouncing around in there. That's fine. I don't have a disorder. I used to hate abstract art. I used to think pretentious people would smear paint on a canvas, pretend it was art, Like they just made something so spectacular that the heavens would part and rays of pure joy would shine on any onlooker of their masterpiece. But I learned it's hard to make nothing. It's a piece of art that doesn't represent anything that anyone would get excited about, and you're bringing interest and intrigue to someone enough that the person feels the urge to possess the art or just stare at it. They like it. And they have no idea what it is. What the hell is happening in that piece? I don't know, but I like it. That takes some level of skill, and I respect people who take that path in art. And I'm trying. No one wants my art. It's okay. I don't have a complex, but I understand those people now. So now sometimes I don't see anything interesting at all in someone's art, but I never put them down for it. It's just, to someone else, it's a beautiful piece of art that they're going to pay the world for. And that's really cool. I think that's great that they connected with someone on that level. But I've heard the negative comments about certain types of art. How about photorealism? That gets a lot of hate. Someone's so good that they can use their hands to reproduce what you can usually only see by freezing light on a film. And people say the meanest things about it. And They say things like, oh, well, if I wanted that, I would have just taken a picture. That's so insulting. Now, it isn't the type of art that I prefer. I don't like to necessarily stare and look at that kind of art. But you cannot put that level of skill down and say that person is not a good artist or something. It's just terrible the way that artists treat each other. These are other artists saying these things. These aren't just outside people. They're artists. And of course they're amazing. Look what they can do. What about guys like Shu Rayner? If you've never heard of him or never seen his work, he's a children's book illustrator, and he's on YouTube here. I'll put his link down below for his channel. But his style of art is so simple that it looks like a young child actually drew it. But the man can draw anything he wants. He just prefers that style of art. That's what he does for a living, and he's amazing at it. And there are very few people that can draw anything they want in their style. He can. He can draw anything at all in that style. And I love watching him draw, even though I don't like to draw like that. But I love watching him create. It's really cool. How about Mark Crilly? He's one of my favorite artists also. He's also here on YouTube. I'll put his link down below as well. And he does the realism challenge thing, but he also does... and what he's most known for is the manga work that he does. And even though many manga artists try to call him out, that his art is not real manga because whatever, he doesn't seem to care that much. He never said he was doing classical manga, but even someone like him, who's a renowned best-selling author, has to deal with crap from people. It's just ridiculous. Other artists getting down on him. I don't know. It's funny. We hear something from a mentor or a teacher, and then we hold on to that statement like it's a definite in life. Don't stray or you're not a real artist. I get some things. Like I know. When I was younger, I had a teacher, probably my mother or father, who said, don't drink poison because it'll kill you. And in spite of that fact of never having to ingest that poison and never having died from it, I still believe them to this day, and I'm not going to do it. But with art, you gotta get over yourself. Don't use black watercolor. Don't use white watercolor. Don't hold the pencil near the tip. Don't use your wrist to draw. Use a pen, not a pencil. Only use expensive art supplies. Only use cheap art supplies. Only use pencils that start with a B for artwork. Only paint upright and not flat on a table. Don't do abstract art because it's not real art. Don't do photorealism because it's not a real art. Why does everything need to be cult-like in our lives? It's like we have this idea and it's just art, but we have this idea, and if anybody else does anything different than our idea, they're not real artists. It's not a real thing. With art, find something that excites you, create. That's the only rule. That's it. That's all you do. So screw every other rule that someone has ever told you It's fun to try new approaches and tackle something from a different angle and get some advice from people and try, oh, I'm stuck in this area, what could I do? And that person tries to help you. But that's a part of experimentation. Then you find what you like and you do it. It's not a rule. It's just you're trying it. So stop taking everything so seriously, you turtle flickin' wingle rhymer. Sometimes it's hard to express everything I want to express in a clean fashion, but I manage. Okay, thumbs up the video if you heard this little speech and you are now planning to find where I purchase groceries so you can put laxative in my coffee creamer. I don't know why you'd do that to me, but some people would. That's about it for me. I'm going to go. I hope you enjoyed this video here. This is a fun thing. There's no rules here. You do whatever the hell you want. Don't say, oh, Pete said you have to do it like this. I didn't say a damn thing. That's all on you. You do this however you want to do it. Try it however you want to try it. But I do suggest you try it because it's a very fun thing to do. I try and give you new things that maybe you're not thinking of that you can try and do. Maybe you've never heard of this type of thing or you've never seen this type of thing before. And I want you to try it. So I may show you a little bit of thing. None of it is a rule. I promise. It's just how I do things. And then you find how you want to do things and do them that way. And that's really all there is to it. I'm going to go, and I'll see you in the next one.